Valentino, come here. What's the matter with you? I think your brain is going soft from all that comedy you're playing with that young girl. Never tell anybody outside the family what you're thinking again. Go on.
Welcome to the big show.
He could go all the way. Oh, America! Are you serious? It is showtime, baby. Here we go. Slam, jam, slam. It's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Get ready to rumble!
Pump up the jam, yo, pump it up, yo, pump it.
Y'all ready for this? I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. Give it up, go.
Welcome to the big show.
Let me say,
Simply
wait till the rock say,
Action, we want action, ABT, iOS, action, boys, action,
Pump up the jam, pump it up while your feet are stumping. And the jam is pumping. Look ahead, the crowd is jumping. Pump it up a little more, get the party going on the dance floor. See, 'cause that's where the party's at, and you find out if you do that. I want a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight, make my day. I want a place to stay. Get your booty on the floor tonight, make my day. Pump up the jam, pump up the jam, pump up the jam, pump up the jam, jam, pump it up, up.
At the 25, breaks a couple of tackles. Headlock, go. He could go all the way.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Cold War Radio, live on our home base, WAAR. We are America Radio, your number one source for streaming political and government talk anywhere. Also streaming on weareamericaradio.com/live. I'm Hutch Bailey Jr. deep down in the bunker in my Smith & Wesson studio in the city of Pittsburgh, and we're going to check. We might be having little problems with our Atlanta connection, but from the ATL, let's try to welcome Stacy Rush to the program. Are we squared away, Stacy?
I think we are, Hutch. Can you hear me okay?
We are okay.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, yeah, that was all me. That is all a headset loose connection. So we are good to go.
That's what it sounded like. Live radio, the pressure of live radio is just awesome.
It is.
Hey, follow me on Spreaker, ladies and gentlemen. Like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Cold War Radio. That's 2 A's in war, Cold War Radio. It's going to be important, and I'll tell you why in a minute. You can catch the show on Blueberry, Roku, YouTube. For podcast, it's Cold War Radio is an iHeartRadio program. We have a Cold War Radio app that is free from your app store, whether it's an iPhone or Android. The email is scrtv@live.com, and you can call the Cold War Radio patron hotline at 412-567-2449. If you'd like to be part of the program, say hi to my East German call screener. The chat room is up on Spreaker. Go to steelcityresistance.blogspot.com. You can catch the show notes links there. If you can help, hit the donate button on the website. But much more importantly, if you could become a Cold War Radio patron, in the upper right-hand column, there's a button to become a patron, and you can, pledge whatever you think the shows are worth, 4 shows a week, and you can change it at any time. But that's my main thrust right there. There's the Cold War Radio patron button. If you need to use snail mail, I'm Hutch Bailey Jr. at P.O. Box 96022, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania 15226. Stacy, I've been waiting to get on the radio all day. It seems that the media world and the Washington, D.C. establishment is all piling on Donald Trump, and I get the feeling, I even caught myself, and we were talking a little bit before the show, I caught myself feeling a little bit bewildered, and then I had to stop and realize and actually think about something that you taught me a while ago, that this media conglomerate that's all around us 24/7 is mainly controlled by 6 multinational corporations. And remember the multinational part, because that's the part where the trillions of dollars are at stake that Donald Trump plans to bring back to the United States. There's a whole lot of people that have sold out our nation in both parties, in the media, in the corporate world. They have sold our nation's workers out, and they are about ready to get poor. They're about ready to get the everything turned on them. And throughout the program today, I'm going to try to let you get a little bit upbeat while pointing out some facts that we have to be prepared for, because the media is not doing that. And every time you see something come up on the screen, it's a surprise, and it really shouldn't be that way. Before we get into anything, though, I didn't put this in the show notes, so I want to get it out right up front. I want to say rest in peace to Roger Ailes. Roger Ailes passed away this morning, and he really changed the way Americans get their news, especially conservative Americans. Now, the owners, Murdoch and his children, have decided that they want to ruin the brand, and they're doing a great job at that. Fox News' ratings are down the toilet. MSNBC's beating them. I mean, it's terrible the way they changed their lineup over a little bit of prodding about some things that happened with O'Reilly years ago. And Stacey, I listened to a kind of like a eulogy by Britt Hume on Fox News tonight, and it was really touching. I mean, you probably saw the same thing. It was really touching, and it made me look at Roger Ailes in a different way.
Yeah, I did not hear or see Britt Hume, but I heard Rush Limbaugh talking about him today. And I think that is something that I didn't realize, to be honest with you, was that Roger Ailes was involved with Rush quite a bit in getting him started with his TV show. I did not know how their relationship was. And he just gave a speech while Roger was still alive. I think it was at a Boy Scouts meeting, and he just talked about what a great man he was. And I look up to Rush. He and I have to say, sometimes I think he listens to us and then he talks about the same thing the next day, Hutch, but I could be wrong. But I have a great deal of respect for him, and listening to how much he admired Mr. Ailes, it was a touching tribute as well.
I heard that one as well, or parts of it, but with Britt, and I've disagreed with Britt on many occasions. I think he's the ultimate insider when it comes to media. He wears his age well. He's in his 70s, believe it or not. But he said that he lost his son a while back, and Roger Ailes, it was hard for him to ride on planes, but he jumped on a plane and was right next to him through the whole thing like a family member. And, that touched me a little bit. I try not to make decisions with emotions, but sometimes people do things and it gives you a glimpse into their character. So rest in peace, and I hope the Murdochs don't destroy your plan, although they are doing a good job at that. Anyway, so let's get into the news of the day and some of the things that are unfolding before our eyes. It's looking, if the media has any type of credibility left, they're saying that Joe Lieberman is the leading candidate for the FBI director job, and I think this is something that's very telling, especially Stacey, those of us that remember when Joe Lieberman got sent packing by the Democrat Party. He was like the last patriotic American Democrat left.
He and Zell Miller went riding out into the sunset after dedicating their lives to the party, and I find it an interesting pick. I don't know that I'm 100% comfortable with it, and that is because I really don't know much about Joe's background. And besides him being a senator, I don't know much other than that. So I guess I'm a little bit uncomfortable with it, but I hear what you're saying as far as how he was treated. But I see some other people treated really poorly by the Democrat Party, and they still end up lining right up with them. So I don't know. It's I'm on the fence if that's the
Joe Lieberman. Joe Lieberman, in my observance, was a social liberal, but when he was one of the people that personified party bickering ends at the water's edge. He was one of those kind of guys that when it came down to something serious, he could differentiate. This is something the Democrats cannot do today.
Right.
He could differentiate between something that was important and something that was political. And he always came down on the right side when it came to instances such as Israel or communism or things like that. And I think that this is a bitter, bitter pill for the Democrats to have to swallow. I'm not sure he's the best guy. I find it very interesting. I've said from the beginning, once the search started, I wanted a law enforcement officer in there.
Right.
So I don't know if this is past that, if we have to have a political person in there because nobody else will pass muster with these Democrats are insane.
I know.
I mean, they're absolutely losing their whole credibility is on the line, and I don't even think they know it.
No, I would submit to you that they have no clue, and neither do about 27% of the population who follow them lock, stock, and barrel. I don't think they have a clue how out of touch, and the only thing that concerns me is like you started out talking at the beginning of the show about the small number of companies that control the media and the impeachment drum and the constant scandals and just wearing people down and wearing people out.
And one of my resolutions about a week ago, I said this on Wayne Dupree's show last night. I'm in a war mode right now. You Republicans, you can kiss where the sun doesn't shine. I don't give a damn about your party. You people are such traitors. When you see they're the conservatives, they use the word conservatives, like Collins is a conservative or something. I mean,
I know, right?
Conservatives begin to whisper President Pence. What an offensive, despicable thing for somebody to do in the party of the president. These people have no loyalty other than to the dollar. I mean, when I hear that, it repulses me more than the Democrats do, Stacey. It really does. When I see them leave this president out on the battlefield the way they did the other day, when not one of them would come on television to support this guy. One little stupid thing that's not even a crime.
But what that should remind you of is the NBC tape. They are reacting exactly like they did after the NBC tape because they thought that was going to take Trump out.
And they want it to.
And they think this will take Trump out, and they want it to.
I agree.
And I think everybody needs to be very aware, and I'm sure everyone who listens to this show is, and a lot of true conservatives are who care about this country. See, the average American out there knows that Washington is corrupt, and they want it to change, and they want this sideshow with the Russia investigation and the special counsel to go away. They want Donald Trump to lead on the issues that got him into the White House, and the establishment and the deep state, and so I am not surprised. I was more surprised that Paul Ryan came out as well as he did after the special counsel was appointed. I mean, I'm not surprised that any of the establishment people did not get out and defend him. It does not surprise me, and so I'm right there with you, and I would be behind you.
This is something this is where you could show a little muscle and maybe take back the political narrative in a corrupt city. But what did they do? They hid. You see pictures today of Ben Sass and even what's the senator's name? The veteran that's come on the scene lately. His name's escaped.
Tom? Is it?
Yeah, Cotton.
Tom Cotton.
You got Cotton, Schumer, McCain and
and
Sass sitting on a wall joking like it's just everything's all good. You know, it sickens me. It really does. Now, there are some Democrats in the vein of Joe Lieberman that understand how seriously disruptive and dangerous this is. I want you to listen to a guy that I have called insane on several occasions, Dennis Kucinich. Listen to him and his analysis.
Welcome back. That is former Congressman Dennis Kucinich is making major news tonight by saying the deep state is trying to destroy Donald Trump's presidency. He joins us now. That's the former Ohio Congressman, former Mayor of Cleveland, and Fox News contributor, along with former Arkansas governor, also a Fox News contributor, Mike Huckabee. How bad is this, former Congressman Kucinich?
Well, you have a politicization of the agencies that is resulting in leaks from anonymous, unknown people, and the intention is to take down a president. Now, this is very dangerous to America. It's a threat to our republic. It constitutes a clear and present danger to our way of life. So we have to be asking, what is the motive of these people? Who's putting these leaks out? Why doesn't somebody come forward and make a charge and put their name and a reputation behind it instead of attacking through the media and not substantiating their position?
Sir, you agree with me. This is a real danger when you have the intelligence community in an election season under the guise of national security that are spying on an opposition party candidate and transition team at a 600% increase rate from the years prior to the election season.
Well, we have to remember this. You know, our first allegiance is to our country. This isn't about one president. This is about the political process of the United States of America being under attack by intelligence agencies and individuals in those agencies. Yes, as you said, there might be some good people in there, but there are certain individuals who are the lifers who want to be able to direct the policy of the country. And if a president stands in their way, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, they'll just try to run that person out. Let me just repeat what you said.
You're saying President Trump is under attack by the deep state intelligence community. Fair statement?
Well, I believe that. Not only that, Sean, but it has to be pointed out in October of 2016, that same deep state overrode the decision of President Obama and Secretary Kerry to come to an agreement with Russia over in a ceasefire in Syria. They overrode it and launched an attack against a Syrian military base. So this is a problem in our country. We've got to protect our nation here. People have to be aware of what's going on. We've got to stand up for America now. This isn't about Democrat, Republican. This is about getting what's going on in the moment and understanding that our country itself is under attack from within.
Now, people like this guy, Dennis Kucinich, leftist, complete leftist, but he understands that the country, without the country, none of the rest of this stuff matters. Now, if you can't get people like him to wrest back the Democrat Party from the communists that are in there right now, the complete prostitutes that are lining their pockets, the country's well-being be damned, Kucinich has it right, Stacey. Okay, we got a little issues with Stacey's connection, but we'll get that straightened out in time. There she is. Go
okay.
ahead. So what did you think about Kucinich?
I think Kucinich, I thought the clip was amazing, to be honest with you. And it just reminds me of the similarities between the Trump voters and the Sanders voters in some ways, because they too realize how wrong this absolutely is. The direction that we are going in, we are going to ruin our republic if we continue to allow for this lawlessness and these conspiracy theories and these faux investigations to continue.
Absolutely. And now that we showed you a little bit of sanity, let's go on the insane side and listen to Maxine Kerosene Waters as she claims that the lock her up chant came from Vladimir Putin. Let's listen.
Collusion.
Yes.
I want to define what you mean by collusion, because what you're talking about seems more circumstantial to me. Bank records, perhaps contacts that were of a nebulous nature. Who knows why Flynn was talking to the Russian ambassador? It seems to have been about sanctions. Collusion to me is very specific. It means that the Russian government or actors within were trying to elect Donald Trump. But I want to know what collusion means to you, because that seems to be the standard by which you're saying he should be impeached.
Yes, absolutely. I am talking about strategies that were developed working with the Trump campaign. I really do believe that much of what you saw coming out of Trump's mouth was a play from Putin's playbook. I think that when you saw him absolutely calling Hillary crooked, the lock her up, all of that was developed. I think that was developed strategically with people from the Kremlin, with Putin, and I think it's more than bank records. I think that you can see that visits, to Moscow were made during the campaign by Manafort and others. I think it's a lot more absolute.
So you think the Russian government developed the talking points for the Trump campaign?
I think that there was a cooperation in developing strategy about how they could ensure that Hillary Clinton was not elected. They need Trump. Trump will be there to support lifting those sanctions. That's what they really want to happen. They want to drill in the Arctic. Tillerson has negotiated a multi-billion-dollar deal with Exxon to do that drilling. They can't get the equipment, the supplies, and all that they need until the sanctions are lifted. They want Trump. Not only will he support lifting those sanctions, he also will turn a blind eye to the expansion that Putin is trying to do. He does not care about them having invaded Crimea, and he does not care whether or not this egotistical maniac Putin is attempting to reunite the whole Soviet
I know we need to go soon, but just to be clear, there has been no actual evidence yet.
No, it has not been.
Okay.
No, it has not. And I want you to know, every time I've talked about impeachment, I've said we've got to connect the dots, we've got to get the facts, we've got to do the investigation. That is what leads to impeachment. And I also said that Trump...
Oh, Maxine. Somewhere in California, a nursing home is looking for you. You should stay away from multi-syllable words, first of all. You just really should. You shouldn't even go on television, but if you're going to go on there, just have a short message and say it and ease back into the ambulance, because, oh, my goodness, this woman is an elected official.
And for how many decades now? I mean, it is... Boy, she is starting to make my Hank Johnson sound pretty smart out there. I'm telling you. I felt most sorry for the guy who was interviewing her, and he was like, so Putin is crafting the talking point?
Yeah.
You're not really saying that, are you? Well, yes, I am saying that. I mean...
The strategy, they developed a strategy. Oh, my God, Putin. Ladies and gentlemen, all of the audio clips that have an available video, I have posted on the Facebook page. So you can see that on the Facebook page. And the previous clip with Kucinich, you can see that, and you'll see Lindsey Graham coming up in a little bit. All right, we're going to skip out of that and go straight to net neutrality supporters want to ban Drudge. Now, the reason I bring this on here is from the freebeacon.com and Elizabeth Harrington. This net neutrality farce has got a FCC chairman, Ajit Pai, who was on the commission in the previous administration, but there's an odd number of commissioners, and so now it's stacked on the Republican side, and now Ajit Pai, who warned us about net neutrality in the Obama administration, is running the show. And actually, they voted today to start reversing the net neutrality rule. So that's a very good thing, because you can see just in the headline where it would go. I mean, net neutrality supporters want to ban Drudge? Are you kidding me? Under the guise of free and open internet,
and
they want to ban it.
Don't you love how they name bills? I think that's the one thing that Congress is so good at. Net neutrality sounds like it's okay, right?
It's like the Affordable Care Act.
That's right, the Affordable Care Act, net neutrality. It all sounds so great and right, and like right to work, right? I mean. Yeah. They're completely opposite of what it is that they're trying to pass. And in this situation, this is so important because what it would, in theory, allow to happen is that a site like the Drudge Report or like Breitbart or any new media site, the Daily Caller, what have you, WayneDupree.com, you have to have the same type of speed available to everyone. So in theory, what you could do is have a situation where you could slow traffic down to these websites. And that's just one of the little caveats within this whole thing. So they don't even necessarily have to come out and try and make everything equal as far as speech time or anything like that is concerned on left and right. They would be able to slow down how much bandwidth you can take up, because it wouldn't be fair for you to take up so much so that people can get to your site and your stories quickly. Because think about that for a minute, if you would. How many times do you go click on a website and it takes too long and you're like, go back to Google, let me see what the next one is, and bring it up. So there are a lot of pieces to this puzzle that need to be taken care of. And Hutch is exactly right with the title of that article. You would, net neutrality sounds like it's going to be great. But if the people who are supporting it want to ban Drudge and other opinion sites that they disagree with or news sites they disagree with, this is a really, really big deal.
It is, and it gets even better. Protesters covering their faces held signs that read "Ban Drudge" with a no symbol over the Drudge Report, the highly trafficked news website run by Matt Drudge. Other protesters held signs to ban other news websites, including Breitbart and InfoWars. Organizers of the campaign Protect Our Internet are connected to popularresistance.org, which features several members of the quote-unquote anti-fascist Antifa campaign. Then there's these guys, Antifa guys. This is a tweet by Brendan Bordelon. Pro-net neutrality folks not happy. Matt Wood tells me that they're fighting opposite principles. So this is something that you got to watch out for. And this is one of the themes, Stacey, I wanted to bring to the listeners tonight, and to whenever you listen to this. It's going to get violent this summer. Just be ready for it. It's going to happen. These leftists, these communists have organized. They're paid. This is not the feeling of the country at large. This is it's basically a coup attempt, is what it is. And a report from Drudge, which, by the way, let's just clear this up. Drudge doesn't write anything. Drudge is a news aggregator.
Right.
Drudge gathers news from other sources and puts it all together so you can catch news sources from all around the world, because the United States media is so horrible. And that's why he's so popular. But police departments stocking up on riot gear in preparation for Summer of Rage. And I will say that this also came from InfoWars, and I shouldn't have to say that way, but I'm telling you. But you could go check for yourself. There's photocopies of order sheets and everything inside this article. But demands for gas masks, rubber bullets, and protective armor soars. Purchases of riot gear by police departments are surging across the country as civil unrest grows, with fears that major American cities could see more violence this summer. You can guarantee it. And it's going to be condoned by local governments. Local governments are going rogue at a pace that you can, every time you hear about a sanctuary city, I mean, let's just face it, if you're for the country, there's people in these leftist cities, and I'm in one of them, that are going to try to do something to change the way things are going. It's not going to work. And let me while I'm on this thought stream right now, they're talking about impeachment. Morons on both sides of the aisle, including John McCain, are talking a couple things. They're trying to saturate the airwaves with the Watergate comparison. And really, if you've lived through Watergate, there's only one thing that is common between Watergate and what's going on now. And that is the FBI leaking material to the media. That is what happened in Watergate. They think that Bernstein and the other guy, Woodward and Bernstein, were these famous reporters. An FBI guy leaked everything to them. They did no work.
Oh, wow.
Their whole entire lifestyle and career was phony. They did no work. It was all traced to an FBI person that thought he should have been director, and Richard Nixon passed him over for somebody else, and I don't have his name right here, but I've seen it. And he fed Woodward and Bernstein everything that they got, and they acted like they were some journalistic heroes. Well, the same thing's happening here with Comey and the rest of the intelligence community. They're feeding this stuff out about the dossier on Trump and the tape on the bus, everything. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that's the same. The difference is Donald Trump didn't commit any crime.
Right. And so, we were talking before the show about your thoughts on this, because I will tell your audience that I have been exhausted with the media coverage that's been going on about the special counsel, and not just that, the entire week. I mean, it's the Comey firing and the Comey memo, and I was exhausted. And so I talked to Hutch at the beginning of the show and said, my fear is because you have these 6 companies controlling most of the media, and because they are beating the impeachment drums over and over again, because they are talking about Russia collusion with absolutely zero proof, my fear is that people like myself, people like Hutch, people who are active and engaged in this all the time, that we would get so exhausted with this that we'd give up the fight. And Hutch has a completely different, refreshing perspective on that.
Yeah, it's wartime, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks to Norway, the assistant director of the FBI that got passed over was now it went down on me there. You guys are tweeting hard. Mark Felt was the agent that was deep throat, and that was why he did it, because he felt scorned. But again, we have to be on a war footing, and I'm going to take that even further and say that it may become necessary, if you look at America's history, it may become necessary to do more than talk. We're not there at this point yet, but if we want to keep our country, and there is a small group of communist and other anti-American forces that are aligned to take the country down at some point in time, we may be forced to get involved with it and ensure that doesn't happen. We're not there yet. We are much, much, much exponentially larger than they are. That is something to take, to feel good about. 69 million of you voted for Donald Trump. I could tell you that I think when the guy Rohrbach, when he's done doing his investigation on election fraud, I think you're going to see millions peeled away from Hillary Clinton's vote tallies. Yeah. I don't think near that many people voted for that witch.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing it as well. I really do. I absolutely do. And I do hope, Hutch, that these investigations that are going to go on look at that there are serious issues that are looked at. I mean, the crime that we know about is the unmasking, but there is so much more going on in the deep state with both political parties. And I really do hope that this investigation will actually uncover some of the corruption that's out there, because I do agree that there's no there there. There's no there there. But just as they created the fake dossier and all of that kind of stuff, I still get a little nervous about, what may be to come with all of this, with the special counsel.
Yeah, we should be. I mean, there's no question. I'm kind of glad that I don't know him that well, but the guy kind of strikes. Maybe he's got a little integrity, and that's all it takes. That's all it's going to take, ladies and gentlemen. You heard Kucinich. That's all it takes is a little bit of integrity to wreck this whole train. Mm-hmm. This whole train is built on lies.
It is.
I mean, there's nothing the guy did. I mean, and when you look back at what Obama did, Obama did the same thing they're trying to accuse Trump of doing.
Right.
Obama got on television and basically said there's going to be no prosecution out of the Justice Department.
Right.
If you remember.
And there is no scandal. There's not even a smidgen of corruption with the IRS scandal before they had finished their investigation. So it's right there in an interview in their face when Barack Obama does it, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when a Democrat does anything. It matters when Republicans do, and that's it. And that is why you're seeing some of these yellow bellies not supporting Trump out there, even the ones who may not be a part of the deep state, even ones who may not be careerist politicians. They just don't want the wrath that Donald Trump is facing. And we need more people like him, like Cruz, who are willing to get out there and take the arrows from the mainstream media and turn them on their sides.
That's right. Leadership requires that you stand up for your supreme leader, you know, the head guy of the country, in your own party. And that I said at the beginning of the show, that makes me madder than any of the rest. When I hear them saying about President Pence, I don't even want Pence to be vice president. I hope in the second term of Donald Trump, he finds somebody else that's more of a renegade than Pence. I mean, I like Pence. He's doing all right. But anyway, I don't want to go back to this. This is going to take more than one president to change.
And that's the thing. That's the thing that we have to remember is we need another renegade in there after Trump gets in there, because this is going to take a long time to deconstruct. It is going to take a very long time to deconstruct. And make no mistake about it, the people in our intel community are very powerful, and they're very used to being able to do pretty much what they want to do because they are able to control 99% of those people in D.C. that are representing you and me. And so you have to have your eyes wide open to what is going on, because this is people. I saw someone in the chat room saying it has to stop. Well, you better buck up, Missy, because it's not going to stop. And let me tell you what's going to happen. It's going to get 10 times worse because they smell the blood. And they may not know that the majority of us who either pay attention, or even friends and family of mine who don't, but who care about this country, they may not understand that they're out of step with the American public. But it is going to take us continuing to support him and to have strong spines and back him and let him know that we're backing him, and let your reps know that you're backing Trump and not them. And if they're standing in the way of this America First agenda, that they've got to go, because this isn't going to get better. They smell the blood, and they're going to keep going after this, and they're going to beat the drum over and over and over again until you don't think that anything is ever going to change. And they see it a finish line because they are organized and they are paying these people to protest, and they have got the media on their side, and they have got Republicans in office, the majority of them that are a part of this deep state, and they want him to fail. So this is not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. So get prepared for it.
Just a brief pause while the applause dies down, Stacey. Well said, no doubt about it. And you know, we have to continue. People like Stacey and the audience. Without the audience, we're not the new media. We're only the new media if you listen. You know, so I want to thank you. The numbers are going up. They were slipping a couple weeks ago, but they're starting to go back up, and I'd appreciate if anybody would share the show. If you'd like to share your opinion, I know there's some opinions out there. 412-567-2449. The phone line's open, awaiting your calls. Lindsey Graham surprised me today, Stacey, the woman of the Senate, one of the women of the Senate, according to Justice Ginsburg. He came on and really, I didn't know what to think. I almost don't look at clips that he's on anymore, but I checked this one out and felt that I would bring it to you, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to Lindsey surprising me, especially toward the end of the clip.
Will investigations actually be the best case scenario for the public, that we actually get a better idea of what the truth is and what the facts are?
Well, you know, you have a special counsel who's a well-respected person, but Clapper and Yates testified publicly. They came before the committee. I thought they both did a good job. They were asked hard questions. call me. I was looking forward to talking to him about what he talked to the president about and why he wrote a memo and why he didn't do more and all that good stuff. I think that's pretty much off the table now.
But you haven't been told a definitive no yet, and you still can leave the door open that it could potentially happen.
I hope he will, but I doubt it. Democrats, you got what you wanted. You got a special counsel. Now we'll just move on. I mean, Congress can't. We're not prosecutors, and we're going to have to honor this special counsel's authority. I don't want to impede an investigation, so time will tell where we go, but there's a new front opening here. I have reason to believe that there are emails between Clinton campaign officials, Democratic operatives, to the Department of Justice regarding the Clinton email investigation that happened on Obama's watch. I have reason that those emails exist. I'm on the Judiciary Committee, and I think it's important that the Judiciary Committee be given any emails that were directed to the Department of Justice by Clinton campaign officials or operatives or Democratic officials or operatives, because we have jurisdiction over the Department of Justice. And I want to know, did the Department of Justice receive communications from the Clinton campaign or Democratic officials about the Clinton email investigation? I have reason to believe those emails exist.
So, wow, Stacey, I mean, wow, he wants to go right into the Clinton emails. I think this was one of the biggest dangers of them doing this. I mean, you remember back when there was a special prosecutor during George W. Bush's term and Scooter Libby went to jail.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you and I were talking about that earlier, weren't we? About how, this whole thing, this special counsel, they are, I have heard that Mueller has a lot of integrity, like you said, but typically somebody's going down and they're going to find something. And there is a lot to be found. But the interesting thing about this is that it's all on the Democrat side. And here they are bringing all this stuff up. And it reminds me, Hutch, of when the New York Times and the Washington Post, they are like, ha, ha, ha. We're going to report on this, that there's been warrants issued from the FISA court, and they have been, surveilling Trump. And then all of a sudden, holy crap, we actually just opened up a can of worms because we are that stupid as the mainstream media and the Democrat Party. And now they're doing the same thing where they could open this can of worms. And when you hear Lindsey Graham saying something like that, when I heard that clip today, I really thought it was going to be a clip of him being like, "Yeah, we need to impeach the president."
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Yeah, let's go to Tennessee. Tracy, what's on your mind this evening?
Yeah, I'm just wondering what it's going to take to start turning things around. I mean, I think that somebody needs to start bringing up and beating the drums about all of the Democrats involved with Russia, and bring up all the Hillary stuff again and the Podesta stuff again, and start getting some grand juries together again for the Dems. I mean, we're just sitting back and, everybody's fired up and saying all this stuff, but nothing's happening.
Well, let's
I don't think, I just think, everybody's fired up. I mean, I'm concerned about Trump going overseas. He doesn't really want to go right now. I think he's concerned about leaving the country with everything going on this week. I'd be concerned.
Yeah, I would be concerned too. I think he's going to make some real headway. Though. I want to try, Tracy. I want to try something. Stacey, say something to Tracy. I want to see if she can hear you. Hey, I'm only going to do this once.
Hey, Tracy. Nope.
Okay, I guess Tracy can't hear. That's okay. We got a plan.
That's okay. And what I meant by this has to stop, and Stacey goes off on me.
Oh God, tell her I'm sorry.
Was a little inappropriate.
No, she's feeling bad now, Tracy.
The one-sided. It's like the censorship is against us only. I mean, everything is one-sided, and that needs to stop.
Well, I agree with you. I agree with you. But the thing is,
censorship can't be on one side.
The thing is that the entire setup is all. You got to stop thinking Democrat and Republican. This is a team that is united in their greed.
Well, conservative, liberal, whatever. I mean, it cannot. It's not constitutional anyway. But
right.
Nobody will do anything.
Well, I think that I think that the way that we get started is with this special counsel. I think this special counsel is going to take out a couple Democrats that weren't expecting it, and then maybe this can calm down a little bit. Well, I mean, we're going to have to see, and we're going to have to pressure them.
But if Mueller will do it, but I think that would get the Democrats' attention.
I do, too.
Do you think the summer riots are going to only be in blue states?
Well, we'll see. It all depends on who the actors are, and I want to let Stacey get in there and talk to you. So I'm going to have to let you go in order to be able to do that, so you can hear her. But thanks for calling, Tracy, and please call back again.
Okay, bye.
So, Stacey, yeah, I mean, it's a concern across the country. I mean, this does look like it could be ongoing forever, but I don't think it is. I have faith in the 69 million people that voted for Donald Trump that won't allow it to go that far.
Right. But you hear, and Tracy, wonderful call. Thank you for calling in. I want you to know my rant was not directed at you personally. It is directed at more at the media, because I'm just as frustrated as you are, because all we see is a one-sided, this is awful, this is awful, this is awful. And even if you listen to Fox News, they're still covering the same exact stories, right? They might bring a little bit different of a spin to it, but it's the same exact coverage. We're talking about the special counsel. We're not talking about anything else except for all of these conspiracies out there. And we have to take a deep breath and know that it's not fair. It's not fair. But that's where you have to come into play. Each and every one of us, you've got to share the show. You've got to share new media out there to get other opinions out there. You've got to talk to your circles of influence, because I think that you will find that they are just as frustrated as you. But the number one thing we have to do is we have to hold these reps accountable. And you need to find your voice, and you need to make it heard. You need to call your reps, call your senators, write them emails, tweet them, Facebook them, and make them understand that you support Trump and the American First agenda, and not this crap that's going on as a sideshow out there.
Absolutely. And Tracy, please call back again. Don't be discouraged. Let's welcome Carrie to the program. Good evening, Carrie from Florida. What's up?
Good evening, Hutch. How you doing, bud?
Doing just fine. How about yourself?
Well, I just wanted to give, I felt sorry for Tracy, because Tracy's mindset is the mindset of a lot of the nation. And it's, well, they did it, so we need to do it. Now, I heard the same clips, and I was just as awestruck as you were, Hutch, at both the Democrat, who's a known imbecile, as well as one of the ladies of the Senate, Lindsey Lighten-Loafers Graham. What you're seeing is you're seeing people starting to turn on each other. The law is being applied, and these people, they're seeing that they cannot stop. The law is the law of the land, and these people are criminals. And they're caught, and now we have an administration. They're not afraid of Trump. They're afraid of Sessions, because Trump doesn't prosecute anybody. The president doesn't prosecute anybody. Congress doesn't prosecute anybody. Lindsey already said it. We don't prosecute anybody. Who prosecutes? The attorney general, the Justice Department. Okay. So that's why they're all having a cow now. And what I heard when Lindsey said, well, I want to start looking into the emails. Oh, now you want to look into it because now you're caught. Now you're trying to act like a good guy. Why didn't you all demand that this be done when it took place? So we have to get away from this, well, if you're going to do it to us, well, then you got to do it to them. No, you apply the law. Who violates the law? A criminal. We have to stop imposing the law on law-abiding citizens and start enforcing the law on the criminals, no matter who the criminal is that has violated the law, no matter what the title that they have. It doesn't matter. That's what they're seeing. that is what's going on in our country. We're not going to have fights in the street. We're not going to have people shooting each other. It's not going to come to that because it's God's law. God cares too much about... Look, there's some people that just get sick if they hit a squirrel. Do you really think that you were capable of shooting somebody? Come on. God doesn't want that. God doesn't want you to do that. This is going to be taken care of according to the law. And that's what they're seeing. They can't stop it. That's why they're striving. At least that's my take.
Well,
that's my take.
I hope you're right. I really do, Kerry, and thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Call back again.
All righty. Y'all have a blessed evening.
Unfortunately, I mean, you look at our history, and these things, sometimes they escalate out of hand. I hope they don't, Tracy. Stacey, I really don't.
Yeah, I hope they don't either. But, only time will tell. I get frustrated with, we've talked about the paid people who are out there doing that. And that is my only concern, I'd say, out there, is that with this ratcheting up, it's because people are getting their paychecks to do this. I don't see things kind of going away anytime in the near future, but I hope things don't get out of control.
I guess what Kerry, I think, was alluding to is that our side won't start shooting.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably, if I'm right, and I'm just guessing there, but I think he's probably right. Until people reach a point, if it gets to the point where our side starts feeling like that, then it's over. Then it's going to be, it won't take long.
No, it won't.
To take care of. I mean,
it'll be done.
Oh, you'll be seeing people on the cameras in the networks, with masks on their face. That's the way it'll happen. Mm-hmm. But let's take a call from Virginia. Virginia, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, Hutch and Stacy? Excellent call by Kerry. But what I was alluding at was, if they would spend as much time, focusing on things that they campaigned on, like getting rid of Obamacare, getting rid of, lowering taxes, all this other stuff, as they do, as Congress does as a whole, as they do, we got to investigate this, we got this special investigation going on that, we got, maybe they'd have a little bit higher than a 6% approval rate.
No, I think you're right.
That's just my take.
No question, and we're running out of time, so I'll answer you on the other side. Thanks for calling, and please call back again. Call earlier in the show. Makes it easier. We can make it last a little bit longer. So thanks. But, the thing is, I think what a lot of people need to understand is that one of the reasons this uniparty thing is trying to take his agenda off course, and understand that there's two pieces to Washington's agenda. One is removing Trump, and if they can't do that, which they're not going to be able to do, at least not in this round, and the second is to stop him from implementing his agenda, because his agenda is an America First agenda, and our entire federal government is a multinational agenda, a globalist agenda. These people in Washington are being paid by people from other countries. Let that sink in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the sooner people really wake up to the fact that we have very few real representatives up in D.C. fighting for us, the sooner we can dig ourselves out of this mess that we've gotten ourselves in. But it is going to take more than 8 years. And Trump's, they're going to do everything they can to stop this agenda. And we have to do everything we can to make sure it goes through.
And if you take anything away from tonight's episode, and I'll send this out, not specifically, but especially to Tracy, have faith. Have faith and understand that you voted for the right person, for the right reasons, at the right time. The people that are around the president, the ones that aren't enemy agents, the ones that are around him are there for the same purpose. We understand that we have to take our country back. We let it alone for too long. We didn't pay attention for too long. And the next thing you know, the Chamber of Commerce and their globalist buddies and the labor unions and everybody else has got their tentacles so deeply inside K Street that K Street is now writing the legislation. And that's why you have Republicans acting like Democrats. That's why the legislation that passed through the House to repeal Obamacare never even made it to the Senate, and why they're going to have to redo that vote because they're running out of time. The budget office never rated it, so it's never even been sent to the Senate yet. These are all delaying tactics to keep the president's agenda off the table. And what the president is going to do next week is he is going to make groundbreaking, I don't want to use the word deals, but he's going to do some things overseas that haven't been done before. Mm-hmm. And you're going to see that. You're going to see it with a Middle Eastern NATO-styled intervention force so we can get the hell out of there and let these people police themselves. You're going to see some things happen with North Korea and Israel. And just stay tuned. They're not. You have to look at the right place and keep listening to this show, because our growth was over 4% last month, and they didn't even report it. Our economy is going through the roof. If you look at Fox Business Daily or Fox Business Network, you'll see they're so frustrated over there because all the good news that's happening and none of it is being reported. Brett Baer says Russia at the opening of every show. Mm-hmm. You know, it's getting sickening. And I'm going to use my last minutes. Instead of telling y'all where you can reach me, you can find it in the chat room. But somebody asked what I would suggest doing, and I'm going to tell you this. You need to find your passion within this movement. You cannot handle every single issue that is going to be thrown at Trump and at us to keep us distracted. You need to find yours. You need to know the subject inside and out, and you need to start getting out there and educating people about what's really going on out there, and then holding your representatives accountable. Absolutely. I couldn't say anything better. And again, keep your chin up. We're okay. We're 70 million strong in a country of 350 million, and 100-some million of them are children. So understand that we're not in the minority. We are strong, we are committed, and we are going to win. Understand that. We are going to win. I'm Hutch Bailey Jr. on Facebook, Berg's Eye View on Twitter. If you want to help keep the program strong, become a Cold War Radio patron at steelcityresistance.blogspot.com. Again, all the audio clips that have video associated with them are on Cold War Radio Facebook page. 2 A's in war. Facebook.com/Cold War Radio. I want to thank the callers for calling up, and I will be on the Wayne Dupree program coming up next. This is wrapping it up for the week. On Monday, when Cold War Radio comes back, a special segment with Norway and I, Shaping Our World. We're going to put a segment in there that's educational in nature. I think you're going to love it. We hope you do. We'll expect some feedback. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for letting me into your life and Stacy into your life for 1 hour. See you at Wayne Dupree. God bless. Kind of blew that. Don't forget, Sunday, Steel City Resistance with Jack in the Mountain, 8 p.m. God bless.